It helps if you unmute your microphone. Okay, hello everyone, this is Wolf. We're back for some more Minecraft. And this time, we're gonna build a starter base. So, who's eager to see it? Alright, so I've got some materials in here. I've got some logs, I've got some bamboo, I've got some smooth sandstone, I've got a couple of other things in here. And I took some time to prepare this space. Remember last time I mined out a little bit of sandstone? It's way over there at the village I started at, which currently has a bunch of mangrove and jungle trees growing at it. And the wall of bamboo. Yeah, it's not underestimate bamboo at the moment, because it's gotten me all of this wood. Plus more in the chest over there, plus it's what I've been using to fuel my smelter over there. No, not today, Cyro. I'll be making the flying castle today. I will be making a starter build though. A starter base that I'm hoping is going to be quite fun. So, to start with, we're going to go with a floor. And yeah, I know, it's not that, what am I doing that for? It's not all that fancy, doing a stripped bamboo floor, but hey, it gets the job done, and it looks half decent. Uh-oh, Cyro's mule got tied up. Now this floor design is super simple, super easy to do. Doesn't take a whole lot of time. It just takes a lot of resources. Just the one downside to it, but do what we can. I'm gonna break those torches. I'll put them back here in a moment. So if you stand on the side like this, you can place the logs in alternating face, which is very useful. Now, part of the reason why I chose jungle logs is, frankly, that was weird. What the? That was weird. Is they actually look like a kind of worn tile. So, how does it do that? Okay. It's probably one of the data packs that I didn't recognize would cause the issues. But see, it creates this nice worn tile look, which is really, really nice. So, in the center here, I'm going to create a water feature. I'm going to lay down our floor. We're going to have a couple of towers, and we're going to have a wall. And we're going to create our own interpretation of a desert temple. I know, highly original. But hey, gotta try something. So, just gonna move along here, place all of these as I can. I don't know why the alien saying move along home from Deep Space Nine just came to mind, but it totally did. Oops. Let's go along here. Now for the drop here, I'm not going to be too worried about that. This is going to get decorated separately. So let's do this. Didn't wander into a hole. That's a decent enough reason to tie up somebody's mule. Oops. Yeah, see? We're reasonable people here. Until we don't need to be. Pengu, also known as Neon, she's awesome. She really is. So, apologies if I spoiled it there with, oops, exploded a little bit, but yeah. I got a bunch of good friends on this server, so I think the occasional faux pas can be forgiven to a point. Don't want to push it too much. Alright. Now when you're creating a floor design like this, it's important to remember that it's going to seem it's going to seem like it's busy. But it's going to be a nice flat background color, which is really what you want in a base. You want to have your colors seem real and seem like this is something you could actually encounter in real life. Far too often you get the overly futuristic or the overly fantastical builds, which, trust me, I am also going to be doing an overly fantastical build, probably several of them, to be perfectly honest, later down the line. But at the moment, starter base, practicality wins out. For the moment. So, let's not accidentally place a log in the wrong spot. As it's getting darker, I do want to make sure that I put the logs in. So it's these two blocks going over here, there. Make sure I put the log light in over here, because it is a desert and things can still spawn in. Though I did light up the area reasonably well. There's some spots that I'm still a little concerned about, like over here. There we go. Skeleton just spawned in right in front of me. Okay. Now, with that said, got a bit more building to work on here. And this is just the floor. This is just the start. But it's a reasonably expensive floor, so this is going to take its time. Now, when you're creating larger builds, one of the things that I'm not trying to make fun of certain people, but there's a habit to either focus too much on the details or to focus on the broad strokes. What did I mess up here? I messed that up. See? I made a mistake there. I would have thrown the whole pattern off. Travesty. They do have a tendency to focus on the smaller details, though, which distract from the end goal. Or they tend to focus on only the broad strokes and, well, miss that this is supposed to be a functional space. To a point, anyway. No space can ever be 100% functional, and that's part of the fun of making a big build like this. Yeah, it's expensive to collect all these logs. I had to get better tools to help me do it, for example. That's okay. That's perfectly fine, because at the end of the day, I know it's going to look good. So, I've said this in the past, but I'm not someone who mocks up things in creative mode very much. So I have, like, just enough logs for this. I like to see how things build and develop organically, but I have a general idea of what I want the shape to be. Oops. So I'll spend time on that. Let's move along here. Oop. Wonder if there's a way to turn that off. Shift. It's the sitting data pack on the server. It's cool when you're trying to have a little chat with someone, but mildly annoying when you're building. But anyway. So, with that said, though, this floor is just the floor. Have all those birch logs for the walls and the sandstone for the walls. When creating architectural concepts, though, you want to make sure that you're focusing on things that seem realistic to the area. So you don't want to have a steep pitched roof in the desert, for example, because that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't rain that much. You're not going to need that roof. Alternatively, if you have a flat roof in a snowy biome, well, I mean, that means your house is just going to collapse. So when I get to building the roof, which I should do today, I've got all the materials collected. I've got everything that I need to move forward with this. I've got bunch of really well enchanted tools. I think it'll go quite well. With that said, though, yep, it is shift. Holding shift prevents you from being pulled down into that. Okay. Oh. Someone else in the servers, is that bees? Wrong button. Yep, honey from a beehive. The server's getting busier and busier, more people are joining, and it is amazing seeing all these people again. So. The towers are going to be kind of a utilitarian space, which is what these footprints are. So I'm not going to do a whole lot in them yet, but one of them is going to have an iron farm, the other one's going to have a couple of other farms. We've got a mix, that's the wrong chest, we've got a mix of possibilities of where we can take things. And as you can see, I've got plenty more jungle logs, which is good, because that's going to be our primary wood type. Alright. Let's start with some basics on a color palette. Okay. When you're making a color palette, it's very easy to accidentally forget that you have these gradients that you can do. I understand there's literally dozens of YouTube channels focused to building up these gradients, but they do make a difference. Okay, we do that, and we do that. It draws the eye in a specific way. Now, if you're a follower of Hermitcraft or popular YouTubers like B-Dubs, you'll note that they use darkened corners and stuff to help emphasize aspects of their build. I'm going to do something similar. So, and strip birch log is now in there. So, but without further ado, let's put these two torches just inside the build there. So, the first layer of the build is going to be regular sandstone. It's going to be what we have for a busy background, so to speak. If you add just the smallest amount of busyness when making a build, it actually helps anchor it to the terrain so much more easily. And then you can use something like a smooth sandstone slab, and everything just sticks much better. This back wall I'm not going to do too much with at the moment. Later on, yes. Not right now, though. So, that's why I don't have much of the sandstone, because I'm not really going to need a whole lot. Literally where I was going to put a torch in, or put a block in a second. And I did not grab enough sandstone for this bit. But that's okay. It's one of the reasons why you stage your materials beforehand. So you can go through and grab what you need. I think that should be enough smooth sandstone for the first little bit anyway. So, I will also spend a little bit of time today touching upon something called block confusion, but it's not that complicated of a concept in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean. All it really boils down to is the types of blocks and the complexity you add to a build with them. That's it. It's not much more complicated than that, really. So, along this back wall, we're going to continue like this. I don't want all the lines to be perfectly stratified. That's an easy mistake to make early on in a build like this. I'm going to move you because you're just going to break otherwise. My inventory's full. Okay. So, with that first line in there, I need to identify where I want to have kind of like a little bit more texturing applied. The back, no brainer. Going to apply a bit of texture like so, leaving that as it is. I'll probably do the same thing, but more pronounced on this corner. Like so. Maybe, yeah, put that one there. Okay. Now the reason for that, and I'm just going to draw this line across here as well, because I have the resources for it. But now the reason why you do that, and you leave these little blemishes like this in, so you could replace that sand with sandstone on the inside if you wanted to, like so. It's one of the beauties of building is there are no hard and fast rules. But you can then anchor your structure. It's not just the house plopped in on the grass with nothing around it. It actually feels like it came out of the terrain, which is what I'm going to do in that backspace there, which is why I wanted to check on this. Yeah, that'll work. So let's switch this for the smooth sandstone now. Smooth sandstone is a phenomenal block. It allows you to bring together what is otherwise a very bland color in the form of sand. Yeah, it pops, it looks okay, but sandstone itself is just kind of a block in of itself. But if you combine it with smooth sandstone, it looks like you actually spent some effort on the build. I'm not knocking anybody who doesn't take the time like I have been with this. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is my preferred methodology here. So, alright, now we're high enough up that I can crouch across here. Do this, so I can drop down and break those two blocks. Now we have our doorway. Am I going to keep it that high? Probably not, but I'm not there yet. When building larger projects, don't get caught up in the smaller details. This isn't meant to be a recommendation to anybody who does that, but it does slow you down and you're like, hang on, I need to stop the build of this castle to play with the angle of the window here in the hallway. See how much time it eats up just trying to say it? So, another thing, when you have little corners like this and you know the wall's going to be visible from multiple angles, it is worth it to spend the blocks. Don't feel like you have to be cheap in that area. So, some of these blocks are super easy to get a hold of. Don't scrimp. Use what you need to. I certainly have plenty for this, so I'm not even worried. Now, as your build gets taller and taller, you're going to need to make sure that you can ensure access. I could have brought scaffolding for that, but I have blocks to scaffold up with, so not a super huge thing. I say that, and people usually refer, oh, he's using blocks to scaffold. He must be an old-time player. I'm not. I just prefer blocks over scaffolding. You see, as we look further away, the jungle wood actually does look like complicated tile pattern, maybe like brushed clay tiles to an extent. And that's just so cool that it does that. So, color palette coming together. Keep doing that. Have an even number in which I'm placing these, but it's okay. Now, like I said, this is going to be my own version of a desert temple. It's also going to be a bit of a desert pyramid. It's also going to be a bit of a desert villa of sorts. So when we get to those stages, it will make a lot more sense why I refer to it like that. That we're now coming around the backside. I will be the first person to say layering is tricky. But you gotta admit, when you get it, you get it. And when it clicks, it clicks. So don't feel that it's your primary goal is, no. Such and such did this extremely complicated layering technique. I have to replicate it. If I don't do it, I'm a failure. No, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. It's not worth it. Stop. Alright. I'm going to go up one more block, actually. Make sure I do my math here right. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be the 6th block. So yes, I'm going to go up one more block for the whole wall here. Then I'm going to add the details that push it outward. Because pyramid is a little bit of a misnomer in where I'm going with this. Yes, there will be a pyramid aspect to it. But that doesn't mean that the pyramid has to be right here. Okay? I have all of this space to work with to add on to it over time. First stages of the starter base here are just that. First stages. Alright. Oops. Will be the places for that later, but not right now. Alright, and just like that, we've got our main central room. Okay? Super simple, not complicated, not overly busy. Don't stress or don't apply a requirement for something to meet something else when you're doing a build this big. I jumped towards the water and totally missed that. Alright. I'm going to knock that out, make it a little bit taller, but we're going to do something special for the next stage here. So I'm going to put these in here and get slabs. And probably a few more stairs, because I suspect that I'll need them. Okay? The wall's great, but it's flat. Nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that you recognize it and have a plan for it. Which I do. So depth is always the trickiest and, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, most annoying aspect of larger builds like this. So I'm going to do a relatively simple crenulation. Which, crenulation is when you start adding in more complicated details to the build. Also going to put some slabs on there. Alternate like so. See, now we've run into our first problem. Even number blocks wide, so we have to count. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that means we break this out. We do one there, like so. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of asymmetry with things, but if you want some symmetry, take the time for it. So we're going to have the same thing here. Just need to make sure that you are pointing at the right part of the block when you place your stairs. 2, 3. Now, because this is a weird corner, I'm going to angle it in a non-standard way compared to the others. It'll make sense once it's done. I said once it's done. All right. Make sure to fill in the corner here. Now this should be another stair block. Stair, stair, and hey, this side actually lines up. Now we've got our evenness. For this, I don't see any particular reason why I need to add the detail to the tower yet. Later on, sure, but not just yet. Go around to our other side. So since we know the wall is a specific measurement and that everything lines up on the other side, we know it'll line up here. This one's going to be a little bit more on the tricky side because we've got that dip right there. See? That's okay. Never feel like you are so limited in something that you have to do it a specific way. You can do that, and I solve one of my problems. See? That one placed incorrectly, so I'll have to move over. Not the end of the world. Let's go over here. I think I'm going to have to end up doing that. I am pillaring up with stairs. Can't judge me for it. Mwahaha. No. See, now we've got the first layer of detail in. Detail in a larger build is so crucial, but it's also tricky. This isn't something you're going to get right away. I'm going to leave a gap here because I want to do something specific for that. Stair went the wrong way. Okay. Let's back out. Take a look at this from a distance. That's working. That works for me. It's getting there. Now on to probably the most expensive part of this, these towers. I know I made way more than I needed. That's intentional. Alright, so let's get onto the top of these towers. The easiest way to do that is to come over here to this corner where the terrain is the highest and use the extra sand that we've got here. Alright. So, the floor of this thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks tall. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 blocks up. Okay. I'm probably going to have to dig down for whichever one of these ends up containing the iron farm. But for the other one, they need to be of a decent enough height to actually be worthwhile to be seen. So 3. Let's do this. So they were 6 before, now they're 9. I'm going to go up probably about 20. That seems like a lot, and it is. But gotta remember, we're only going to be using blocks in a certain way. Only a certain amount of blocks. Plus, I have plenty to work with anyway. 2, 3. So now we're at 12. I think I hear a kitty cat playing with my door. So, 12 blocks up. I think it's time for us to start looking into a transition period. Okay? Best place to apply the transition is actually here in the back. Have it come off of the rest of the build here a bit. So go up a bit like so. Like so. So this is 15 blocks now. Move around a bit. Drop a little bit to add some asymmetry to it. And then we go back down to 2, to 1, and we're done. Okay? We now can try not to fall to our death. This is by far my favorite way to work with logs. Just point and shoot, like so. Make sure to also place the one that I've been carrying with me. All right. I know, I'm as shocked as everyone else that I'm using burst logs. Shut up. Okay. It's a bit jarring at first, but once you start adding in the rest of the detail and the fact this is going to be towards the back of the build, it adds relatively useful shading. So, we're at 15 blocks up now. Now we're at 18. I'm not going to have enough birch logs, which is okay. Look, a convenient water pool. Oops. No. And see, I've got plenty of smooth sandstone, so I'm not even going to have to worry about it too much. Let's toss the things I don't need immediately on me right now into here. Grab a little bit extra smooth sandstone and a bunch of birch logs. There we go. And one more here, which then gets in my offhand. Now, I can easily go anywhere I need to in order to pillar up for this, but I'm going to pillar up in a way so I know that this is the block that I need to remove when I head back down. it's simpler to do it this way, but also it avoids potential confusion. You may be asking yourself, hey Wolf, why did you leave the stone stairs and the slabs in your inventory? Nothing is more boring than just a flat wall. So we're going to fix that. Unfortunately, you can't use a stone cutter on logs, so you're going to have to get a little creative. In my case, carry your crafting table with you everywhere you go. Right. Now, it may seem like I've got a lot going in here. That's okay. We're going to place our crafting table in here. We're going to make a single stack of planks, and then make it into the stairs that we need. That should be plenty. So these stairs are going to go here and here, on each of the corners, facing each of the sides. This is the detail part that I told you you need to be careful with. But right now, I think I can afford the time for it. I have the resources for it. And it's relatively important to the overall shape. Now, with that in mind, I'm not going to go overboard with this. So, and adding in the stairs like this is much more of a texture thing than anything else. So, keep in mind, texture is important as much as color. Now that we've done that, we go back to our birch log. We add one more block up. Put another thing in my offhand. And then those extra sandstone pieces that I have become the rest of this. Oops. Decorative crafting table, anyone? No. So, sandstone pieces I have right here are going to then be switched out for what I've got for the birch. I'm going to put the sandstone like that. A slab will go right there, so let me grab a slab so I don't lose track of where I'm supposed to be with all this stuff. Slabs go on here as well. And then a slab goes here. Bottom slab, not top slab. Now they're important. Put the slabs here since I have them on me, and staircase. Now, we still have this spot right here, which is potentially spawnable, but that's okay. We're not going to worry too much about that. Bottom slab, please. Oops. Wrong place. And let's make sure we put our bottom slab in here. Now, I have regular sandstone on me still. There's a reason for that. Adding these in the corners like this completes the texture confusion, but also the depth from the top space here. That's why. There's a reason for it. It adds that little bit more to draw it in together. It blends in the smooth sandstone texture into the birch planks a bit better, and it looks like it's starting to crumble, whereas the birches make it look like dirty. This looks like it's starting to crumble. Now, to finish this off, we're going to switch to smooth sandstone. We can add one block. Keep in mind, we are now 22 blocks tall. Okay. Around the edges like so. Each bit of sandstone gets a slab put on top of it. That has two purposes. One, it spawn proofs it. Two, just looks good. It truly does. Alright, let's see. Sandstone, sandstone, and that's it. Alright. Now we're clear to put our floor across. Not super important what block I use, so I'm just going to use smooth sandstone for this bit. Reason being is that this will now block off the light to the area down below and allow us to build inside of it. As well, it gives us a space up here to decorate into a green space. That happened. Alright, let's go here. Now, you may be wondering, you spent all that time and effort spawn-proofing it. Why are you putting stuff up here? Roofs are important, especially in such a tall build. It's going to draw the eye to it. So you need to do something to keep that eye busy. Why not go with a complicated roof design that also looks good? And I have more slabs right here. Okay. You could then put in wall like so. Hide a light source up here, which I'm going to have to pillar up to put the light source in here. So for the meantime, it's just going to be a torch. And then let's look at this from down below, which I meant that, oops. I'm going to have to pillar up and break that block now. Let's give it some distance though. And at night, it's going to look so much better as well. See? It looks deserty. It looks castle-like in very medieval. But it looks like it belongs. That could be the tower the watch is reviewing everything on. Each night, they're keeping an eye out for pirate ships. So, we have a sunken ship over there. We've got a merchant ship over there in the distance. So yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you build tiered texture designs. I should have, dropped onto this particular spot so I could, not have to waste durability a second time, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. Now, the other one I'm going to make a little bit different and go a bit higher with the sandstone. You don't want them to be exactly mirroring each other. You want there to be some confusion in the look. See, right now, that line right there, that's bugging me. But, I can fix it later. So, let's go around to this side. We started adding in, I'm going to break that sand that's over there so I could go back up. Now, we started adding in the birch logs at 15 blocks up. Looking at it right now, I'm not sure if that was the right call. Second guessing myself. It's okay. Definitely going to do that though, otherwise it's going to bug me. Let's head around to the outer wall right here, which having it more than just one block wide is so much nicer. Okay. I'm going to go down to like so. I think 6 blocks tall right now. Let's go up another 6 and see where we stand in terms of the height of that. I think that's going to be really important to keep in mind. And I place more birch logs again. Sure, we do that. And because I know I'm gonna do it again, I'm gonna break that. 3. So this is 12, and you can see that's when I started adding in the first of the tiers there. Symmetry and asymmetry are very tricky things to get right in larger builds. If you make something large that's very asymmetrical, it's gonna bug you. It's going to bug the people looking at it, and you're going to get called out on it. But you don't necessarily have to stick to consistency of a pattern every single time. That's just become a very, very interesting mob farm. Probably going to be spiders in there too. Alright. I'm going to, because I can, go up 2 more blocks in this back area before going up to the final third here. Okay, so that was 12, now I'm at 15. Now I'm down to 14 again. I think that's how I'm going to do this one. Around to here. Like so. Okay. Now I'm at 15. I have 5 more blocks up to go. And I've got a little bit cleaner of a front here. So, okay. Put more in my offhand. Now at 18. There we go. You'll notice that this is about right where I started to have the extra details pop in there, which is fine. Okay? If I'm looking straight across this block, that means that block is 1 block higher than where I am currently standing. I can see the lip of that. So I need to go up 1 more to add this. 19 blocks. Now, don't... Again, I keep saying the word don't in there, but it's what it is. If this turns out to be a different height and whatnot, it's a simple fix. Don't feel like it has to be absolutely perfect the moment you set eyes on it, because it won't be. There's going to be some weirdness to it. Fortunately, right now, if I wanted to, I'm looking at it, I see that those stairs are on this block down here. Above that is when I started to have the fun sandstone. I also did 1 block higher, or just 1 block higher for that. If I ever wanted to confirm that, though, it's a simple matter to bridge across. And see, I'm at that block right there, so I actually need to go up 1 more in order to match where the birch stairs are. I don't know how that works. Not going to get them all. Oh well. This is why you double check things, but also don't feel like you have to have everything perfect instantly. Yes, this process is very, very fun. It's even more fun to do when you're bridging over nether, or bridging over the void, or lava in the nether. That's so much fun. I love the end and the nether, and yeah. All right, so. All right, let's do that. Now you're probably thinking, the scale of this, it's huge compared to that. I have the materials. We're not even halfway done with this project. So, all right, next step is our stairs. As we discussed, the stairs go here in the specific orientations that were noted earlier. Right. That and that. Go here. So. I do have feather falling on my boots, but I would rather not mess with that at the moment, given I have a bunch of levels on me. One of the cool things about playing on an SMP is we will have a bunch of community builds. I'm already working on a fun project for the Nether Pathways and Highways, and a bunch of other community builds, so that is the cool thing about playing on a server like this. Now, if you look at that, we did go up 1 more block on the inside. This is 21. Okay. All right. Next, we went around and we were placing these blocks, especially our smooth sandstone stairs. That, like that. Okay. And the ones in the corner get to regular sandstone, which, yeah, I have plenty. Oh, graphical glitch down there. Oh, okay. Swap out you for this one. Guys, go around in here. Not where I wanted you. Now we go to our space in the middle, which is this bottom slab in the corners. That's the final piece to bring it all together in this space. And we're good. All right. Now, from there, it's smooth sandstone. So let's swap this out for just regular smooth sandstone. I know there's other types of sandstone that I could use to work with this, but I'm working with what I like. So, don't feel like you have to use a material of a specific nature. You don't have to follow a color palette that someone else has done. Try your own. There are no rules that you have to do something the same way another person did it. You don't like my color palette here, you don't like what I did here, play around with it. So I left that stair block completely uncovered. That's fine. That means there's a few potential spawnable spaces. That's where you get the possibility for some accents. Alright, so this is the level where we filled in the floor. Okay, now we put our blocks in our respective positions here to make the uppermost crenulations, like so. Do block forward? Yeah, I did block forward. Okay. Not a big deal. That's what the crafting table's for, ladies and gentlemen. That's the wrong type of slab. Always carry a crafting table with you. Okay. Torch goes in here, and we have the second of our towers completed. Fun, huh? Alright, so since I didn't pillar up here, I am going to test the feather falling on my boots, though, because I just saw stuff despawning. Oh well. Let's light these up so we don't have unintentional mob farms. So. Hey DVD, thank you for hopping in. Much appreciated, and happy to do it. I'm just trying to make stuff that's useful. And Cyro, they're your community builds too. Okay. Let's hop in the boat and get some distance between us and the build. Don't do what I do all the time, which is to stop and take these viewing builds and stuff. But, I mean, look at that. And I messed up something, but oh well. This is too straight of a line. Okay? That looks a little bit better, but this is too straight. So, let's fix that, shall we? This is very easy to fix, and I should have noticed it earlier, but that's okay. Now, if you find yourself in this situation, pillar up a bit, chop out a few of the logs that are in the way, and replace them with something else. In this case, let's do that, that. Better. Funny, Cyro, very funny. So, we're now on to where our next level is going to go, okay? Now, I said that I was going to do something special for this space, and I do intend to. That's okay, it's just a block. Now, let's go around to the back, where we have that sand already set up. Let's do that. Before I forget, I want to make some more... I need to make more slabs. While I'm here at the stonecutter, let's just... let's do that. A full stack is plenty for now. Okay. Alright. See? Syro just went to sleep. So, that means he's doing a community service for the community. He's keeping it so that way the mobs don't spawn and murderize everybody. Now, right here we have our first big hurdle. We need to have a pathway to go across to this. Well, probably the easiest and the best pathway to create is one made of planks. Or slabs of plank slabs. It's not going to be enough. That should work. Okay. I could always make more. It's not like I'm running low on logs. Now, to start with, let's do this. Start with one block up from where you're going and go out. Okay? This is how you make curved and believable pathways that are offset a little bit. Okay? It's a 45-degree angle, but it actually just mirrors the same cut here, which is really quite nice. Oh, Syro, you know you love all the mobs. So, his favorite place in the game is the Nether. He says it every time he goes. Alright. Now that we've got these two corners right here, we have a spot for us to start actually building the interior of this build. And we've got a slab layer to work with. I could add more along the wall here and just start building up, but where's the fun in that? We don't want to make a large central room that is just like everything dumps into here. Even though kind of how it's going to be, but we don't want to make it that easy to identify. Alright, so we're going to go back to our smooth sandstone and a bit of our birch log. Let's do that. Okay. Now, let's go up 2 blocks, because you'll note that this is now on the overhang. Don't want to put these in at every space. Let's do a 2-block, 3 space, 3 space, 3. That leaves this weird corner space here, but I think that's okay because the corner is going to be the trickiest to make work. Okay. Alright, so let's go replicate this corner over here, and then we'll work our way towards the middle. So we're going to go back over here. Go up 2, make a 3-block space. Make ours 3 blocks, space. 3 blocks, space. This one gets a space by default. And then that's the wrong block I was looking at. There we go. Let's go 2 blocks over, then have a 1-block space. 2 blocks. That means that this gets to be a block. Let's do a 3rd block here. 1-block space. And there we go. We have our windows for this level now. Now you can make the... You can start by adding in, or having just, if I could find the words for it, you can start by just having the wall pop out further. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to put slabs across the top here. This will be the cap to our wall, so to speak. Now the reason why I'm using slabs is that I can manipulate and adjust how this looks at the back end. right? So I can add more to this. I can play with it. I can, prop it up a little bit. I can bring it down a little bit. Oops, wrong block. So with the smooth sandstone anyway. So once I've got this bit in, that there, put that there. All right. Now we've got these windows at specific intervals. Let's bring the blocks up by 2 every other space. Now you see what I'm talking about. We'll be able to add that little bit of layer confusion, is really what the technical term for it is, but add that bit of confusion in there to make what we need. Now let's make a bunch more slabs because I underestimated how many I would need. And continue working our way around. On either side of each window is where we're going to do these 2 highs. So that means the back is going to look a little bit strange. That's okay. All right, got that one there. Fighting with my fingers because I'm tired from writing emails all day at work. All right, now we've got this bit, okay? It's pushed up, it's pumped up, it looks big, it looks impressive, okay? One of the next things with this is really kind of neat. I want to preface this. This is really quite neat. You put the stair like so, it leaves that gap underneath. Now, in the desert, that's actually an intentional design element. Okay? Remember, realistic builds. That gap helps provide air circulation during the heat of the day. You don't have that gap, well, the upper floor of your house gets super hot. You don't necessarily want to deal with that. So, this allows for the natural air and wind to push it out, even if you have something covering over those windows, which we will in a bit. Just work our way along here. I'm not going to worry too much about these corner spaces, because these corners are going to be a little tricky anyway. Technically could do point up to point to the corner that I could point down, but yeah. Last one there. Let's put that block there. Let's go around to this side. Put our final block in here. Now we've got our outer second floor walls, at least in the back, put together. And this is where you start getting the cool stuff that you can do with a larger build like this. Now, because that's only so high, I'm going to go up like so. I'm going to make a bit more of a decorative front, so to speak. Okay. So, may recognize this kind of shape if you've ever watched any movies about, the Alamo or anything. So, that. And I did this wrong. Here. Okay. See, now we have this relatively nice window space that's framing the interior of the house and bringing in that wonderful breeze off the ocean. Let's go ahead and recreate that on the other side here. Actually, I think I'm going to make a change now that I'm looking at it. I'm going to move it over 1 block. I didn't necessarily need to do that last one there, but yeah. And then let's swap this out for the slab in that space. Now, again, you're probably thinking, but what about this thing right here? This is going to look super weird. Now that this block is in place, I bring my slabs across, double up there, slabs across, double up in the corners this time, slab across, double up, actually, let's put slabs like so, and where did I put the stairs? Like so. Now it creates a nice little slotted space. From here, we can actually design a little bit more decorative front of the house, but we're not quite there yet. That'll be a part of the roof design. There's a little bit of a preview, though. There we go. That's the wrong block. Won't do the slabs, I'll just do these. A little bit of preview, though. This is roughly where it's going. Let's head around here to the back. And see, we now have the additional spaces for pulling air through the house. Okay? Alright. Now these windows, not the greatest. There's not a whole lot going on here. I want the step up here when we walk over to this space. It's not really going to do us much once we get through here. So we're going to actually have to go down and brought the crafting table with me. I don't need to go down. It's time. Time to make slab-ageddon. Oh. We're going to make 1 row of slabs moving across the space here. That connects that up and allows access along here. To make this area a little bit easier to navigate, I'm also going to slab this space. The corners, not here. I have something else in mind for here, and that's going to take trapdoors. Bamboo trapdoors. You didn't think I forgot about all the bamboo that's over there, did you? There's a reason why I got so much. Alright, we're going to work our way along here. We're not going to put slabs in this space because I have something else planned for those spaces. We are going to anchor it in that one, though. We're going to continue working our way across like so. Now, for this house, the lower level is very much going to be the entrance hall / functional space. I want the upper level to be decorative. So that's what I'm working on. Now, strict corners, not interesting. I'm gonna have to play with that a little bit, but it's okay. That's a part of this process. Okay. Let's go over here. Let's do that. So we replicate the same effect as the other corners. Now we've got all of this space to work with in here. And it's actually going to be quite fun to do so, actually. But we've got the roof is the next thing to work on. And that's where these come into play. That's for our spruce logs, or spruce birch logs. Now, to get up there, I'm just going to pillar up using the logs. This block is what we're going to build off from. Now we're going to strip it and simply build across. This isn't the top of our roof, but this is an important step in the roof. That's worthwhile to recognize. Nothing is ever immediately 100% done. See? Now at this end right here, I'm not so big a fan of the log look, so I'm going to take that with me. Going to make one of you guys. Better. Oh yeah, so much better. Okay. Now, on the underside of this one, I'll probably put, stair in or something, but that's okay. Let's work our way across to here and repeat the process. Now, you may be wondering why I'm running just a single log across the whole length here. Believe it or not, that's how they used to do it. Wasn't so much what the architect wanted, it's what they could make work with what materials they had available. So, you'll note that both of these end cap at a slab. Not a big deal. Switch to blocks like so. Convert the slab into a full-size block. Swap that out, and I only have one stair left right now. So the other side is going to have to be a stair as well. Let's go fix that. To the stone cutter! Don't need many of these, but that should be plenty. Ooh, crying obsidian. Alright. Just gonna pillar up with a few planks because I stand out and I'll know to replace them later. Alright. Now, for our roof, now I literally just came back up here even though I'm essentially done with the materials that I've got on hand right now. For our roof, the next big thing in this design, actually I should go take care of this. The next big thing in this is the first major pop of color because, yeah, haven't done much with color pops yet. Haven't done much with drawing an eye away from anything else. I've just built a shell. Granted, it's a nice shell. At least I like to think so. It's still just a shell. I'm going to use this opportunity to add a few details. Since I'm down here, and this is such a perfect opportunity. If you take the time to put... It doesn't need to go like that. If you take the time to put these details in here like so, it looks like hey, that beam is actually structural. The beam's actually reasonably well anchored in there. It's not going to fall off. It's not going to collapse. Oftentimes the way they load these large logs when building a house like this is they push them in from one side and they just sort of sit. So that would be the cradle. They got pushed in from this side, which makes sense because the train's higher here. And then they just sort of sit here on this bracket. It's a quick way to design a house. It's not the safest, but it works. So, who are we to judge that? Alright, let's go swap all these birch logs for... Let's swap all these birch logs for some bamboo. I'm adding people, Cyro? People are joining the server? That's great! That really is great! Put sandstone in there. Just don't want to have a ton of stuff. I know I have the red sandstone in here. There's a plan for it. Bamboo. This has been my favorite thing that I could not wait for with 1.20. Bamboo. Like, yes! Now, unfortunately, you can't convert it to, you know, a block like that, but this is such a good, pretty block. It really, truly is. So, first place where we add a bit of this is actually going to be along the front here. Oh, I'm adding purple? Where did I put purple in? Didn't put purple in. So, not putting purple in. Purple? No purple. Zyro's favorite color is purple. Alright, so I'm going to pick a spot here and just pillar up. Okay? Now, I'm probably just going to leave that like so. The roof is going to be set on top of this. No purple. More importantly, I'm going to shoot it across like so. Now, yes, there is going to be this lip right here. That's part of the design. Okay? The roof sits on these beams. These beams are holding up the whole weight of the roof, with a couple of little anchor pieces on either side just to keep the roof from flying off in a storm. That's pretty much all that it is. Now, because these are logs, they are directional, I do need to be careful, but the pop of color they're going to provide will just be, ooh, so good. And it's going to look so lush on the inside, too. Now, I can go over here. And add them like this. Get such a nice roof. Now, it's going to be a flat roof. That's not a bad thing. You will get to the texturing side of this pretty easily as you start working your way through such a large build. I know, it's a starter base and I made it big. So right here is where we're going to have our first little potential issue. The wall lines up so nicely that I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem. So, now, I do want to have a bit of a bump up here in the center. So along this edge, as we go over, so we need to go one block over further to go over the water space. I do want this water space to have the roof bump up a little bit. So unfortunately, we're going to have to do something kind of like this. So let's go like so. Down here. Now, if I leave this in here, it's gonna be visible. That's okay. I want this texture. I want the texture to be visible from the inside. It adds depth. It adds authenticity. I know you're probably gonna say, but you're blocking it off now. Yes. I didn't see it say these were gonna stay. Definitely did not say these were gonna stay. So, just like that, we have our pop of slightly darker green in this whole thing. Completely unintentional, intentional drop down to, no. See? Now if we do the pop-up in here, it's gonna create that tiled effect that I really think will look quite good. without further ado, let's continue these across. At least this one across. And finish up our area where we're going to pop out the roof a bit. Let's go up. So it's here that we're going to build across again. Until we get to here. Whoops. Wrong angle. Alright. Extend this way. Go one block immediately over the edge of the wall here. Good night, Cyro. Alright, let's do that. Oops, we've made our first mistake with placing these. Not first mistake, it's like our third, but it's okay. Let's go along here. Alright, now the edges right here, this is where we're going to have some fun stuff, but that's okay. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. We work our way along here until we've got all of that taken care of. Like so. See, now it looks like there's some vented. Look, there's some venting here. That's quite nice. It's such a nice pattern too. Yeah, it's a little jarring at first, but that's okay. Let's see. Aether just hopped online. Alright. Alright. Now, the dome here is going to be another beast in of itself, so we will tackle that here in a moment. Now, the back wall here, it's gonna be angled a specific way, so I'll show you how I want to do that here in a moment. Let's take on this, like so. Do that, and let's leave these blocks here open to the sky, because then I can run up slabs, if I had them on me, to fit that gap. And see, now that breaks it. Block of bamboo, I'm not too worried about it. Alright. And then along here, we're going to do this type of look. Let's not drop down there right now. So. Now, why would a bamboo, specifically a bamboo ceiling, make sense in the desert? Insulation. Believe it or not, there are temperature extremes in the desert. Who would have thought? No. Sorry, that was a little mean. Bamboo has been, for years, used in the deserts and the jungles for insulating spaces. And it just makes sense to use it in this context, because that means that this house is going to be very comfortable regardless of the weather outside. So that's kind of what I was hoping to go for, is make it seem realistic. No, realism in a world where everything is a cube, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers all the time. Alright, so let's work our way along here, placing this row of blocks. And as we get to here is where it ends. So let's go back and double check that we didn't go one block too far. Actually, we went one block less far on this side. Okay. Now this is where the pyramid bit is going to come in and be a little bit more unique than a traditional desert pyramid, in the game anyway. I'm going to create a pyramid around this space, replicating that shape, but going up a bit. Corners are going to be the most interesting part. Fortunately, Minecraft has presented us with an option for that to be very easy to do. Just need to have your bamboo in there. And I'm doing something wrong. Did I forget the recipe for that thing already? The mosaic bamboo block. Let's see, how is that done? There, got all that stuff in there. How did you do the mosaic? Have to go into something specific to do it. To the Alt tab. Slabs. I need to make slabs. And then we get our mosaic bamboo, like so. All right. And then this can then be turned into staircases. Okay. Into the bamboo mosaic stairs. So I'm going to use alternating bamboo mosaic blocks and the stairs as part of this design. That's going to be the fun part here. Got our mosaics in there. Got a few extra slabs, but not a big deal. And let's do that. So, now. One block back from this, because I do want to have a consistency on the inside. We're going to go around. Oops, that's wrong. Go around with the bamboo. Okay. Doesn't look like much yet. Hold on. Hold on. Put the mosaic blocks in the corner like so. It's not like I can't make more. Okay. Let's switch to the bamboo. Aether just slept, so MVP right there. Which is the full bamboo block right there. And it's creating this bit of venting along the side here. It's really quite nice. But it looks like it's all anchored into the pyramid. I know, super technical in this stuff here, but this is how I build. Told you it would kind of fit in there in one way or another. Now, the mosaic just brings the top of this here together. Okay? So, the next, next little bit here that we're going to work on needs more the bamboo wood. Of course it does. Let's set up a crafting little station over here near the front. Let's make all the bamboo mosaics that we can, bamboo slabs that we can, to make all the bamboo mosaic. Oh, there it goes right there. Alright. So, with this in here, we can just start working our way up, creating our terraces here. So, where's our bamboo stairs? Let's do that. Let's also give ourselves a few slabs to work with, because the slabs go in here. I know the mosaics weren't absolutely essential down in there, but that's okay. So we're going to alternate back and forth between the stairs on the outside like this, making this look like a... Pyramids are man-made, but making this look like it's made in a different fashion. And the rest of it. We go along the inside right here. See how we have this? Doesn't work. It will block off a bit of it. So, to compensate for that, it's one of the things that we have the birch for. We can either add in a brighter color, which will draw the eyes to it, or put a slab of that brighter color in and add depth. We're going to do the slab method. So, this also gives me a convenient place to anchor things later down the line when that part of the project comes to fruition. Let's work our way along here. Now, you may be wondering, this is all well and good, and it looks good, and it anchors together, like especially these lines. How's this going to look like from below? I'm enthusiastic. It's going to look great. So, unfortunately, I have run out again of slabs and other resources. So, let's first make a couple of... If I can remember the recipe right, please. Make a bunch of those. Let's make a bunch of those. Bunch of those. Let's do like so. And in each of these corners, replicate the same thing, working our way up. Swap these back. Let's continue with this angle, but in this instance, I'm going to apply a full-size block here. Having the lighter color, but in the depth position it was before, creates a specific effect. This also creates a specific effect, but to the counter of the first. So this is a form of block confusion, but it's a block confusion through controlling depth. So. Alrighty. Swap this out for our slab. Yes, I could put a full stair block in there, but I want the edge to be a little bit broken up. So, this time I'm going to use a slab of just the mosaic bamboo. This will draw the eye further up into the depth of the structure. So, let's add our next row here. Which this will be the last row of the bamboo here. At least the full-size bamboo blocks. Swap this out. Let's do that. I have exactly enough stairs. Nice. Alright, the next thing that I'm going to do, while seemingly insignificant in the long run, is actually quite useful. Okay? Now, the trapdoors with the bamboo, there we go, are super interesting. Just go ahead and grab all of them. Now, mosaic in the corner, like so, just continuing that up. If we then put the trapdoor, like so, that will frame this whole upper portion. I think it'll frame it quite nicely. Now, of course, this area up here is unlit. It's not super easy to get to. I think that's okay. These are transparent blocks, so we don't need to worry too much about those. We will put these up here, like so. Actually, I'm going to do something that normally I would say no to, but why not? Let's play around with things a little bit. I have the resources. I have the time right now. Alrighty. Yeah, that works. That works well. That works really well. Alrighty. Now, don't think I haven't forgotten this whole area up here. It's kind of flat. It's kind of bland. It's spawnable. That's okay. The way that we're going to address that is by ignoring it and running away over here, and we're not going to talk about it ever again, and you didn't see anything. No. That does look cool, though. No, the way that we're going to approach it is this whole area up here is going to get a bit more of the bamboo treatment, and it's going to be going through it in a specific place, in a specific way. To that end, I'm actually going to need a lot more of the bamboo in here because I'm going to need bamboo fencing. I'm going to need a lot of bamboo fencing. And it wouldn't hurt. I've got so many mosaics here. And it wouldn't hurt to make a few more trapdoors. So, you know, we'll just do that. And have a bunch of those, and just do this, and have a bunch more, and call it good. No. Alright. In each of these corners coming up off the roof for the towers, I'm going to place these three fences. The reason why you place fences like this is it gives a little bit more structural validity to what you're building, okay? Along the edges, we're going to place trapdoors. I'm going to need to make a lot more of these trapdoors. Till we get to these corners. Corners, we're going to place the bamboo, and you'll note that's going to go down to the area below. So that's actually wrong. I don't want to do that. Those will be easy to replace. Let's go back to placing these. Again, we go along the edge here. Oh, continuously? Yes, I did go continuously across that one. I'm going to need to make more bamboo trapdoors, because I need exactly 2 more. Go to here. that's what we've got here for these. Okay. Now, oh, I completely discounted or miscounted or ignored the fact that I have this whole front area here that I have to work with. So, let's grab a bunch of these. It's not going to be enough. Okay. Now you're still wondering, but that's not spawn-proofed yet. How's it spawn-proofed? Believe it or not, you can add extra layers to a roof by just creating this little bit of a depth trick. It's going to preserve the color of the bamboo from a distance. It adds just this extra little bit of movement around here, to the point where if something spawns up here, it's not going to walk off. It's going to have to be able to navigate through this space, and if they're up like this, they won't want to go through the trapdoor. It's a method to my madness, sometimes, maybe. If I insist there is, it is. So that's how things work, right? That's just how it works. Why you're looking at me like that? No. Okay. I think, since I do have the bamboo for it, and it's not that expensive to do this, also going to take the time to make a couple of bamboo fence gates. Why? Because I can. Because why not? No, these are actually an awesome block to decorate with. Oh, I missed one. An awesome block to decorate with. I need to go in here and make fence gates out of sticks. And I need to make a couple more of you guys. Okay. Now, part of the reason why I wanted to use them is that I can then place them up here to make this area basically nothing's going to be passing through this space. No mobs. So I have spawn-proofed this area by not spawn-proofing it. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but trust me, it does. It does. So, if I put anything on the side here where they can get to it, they can walk over it. They'll try to avoid going through this space, which I can then build up the sandstone in there, and they won't be able to path through it. They try to pathfind up here, they're going to run into the fence gates, and they can't jump up this space. Players can, mobs can't. Okay. And then the final bit of decoration, which is going to go in here, which is going to be glowberries, will provide some lighting. Apart from that, the roof is done. Alright. Oh, that was so close. Oh, let's just use the fence gate. Let's go down here. Okay, let's then just decide to be clever about this. A little bit of hardcore, guys. Okay, I'm just breaking the fence. Doesn't need to jump down without taking any damage. Where did I put my boat? There's my boat. Let's go around here and out into the water. To avoid that, because that's a war motion ruin, and I don't want to deal with a drown with a trident right now. Alright, everyone ready for the reveal? There it is. It looks weird. There's a few more details needed to be added into it. I need to bring the roof and complete the roof line, but yeah. Here's our starter base, guys. It's awesome. So, most likely what I'll do is I'll bring a line of sandstone stairs across that row there. So, I need you guys. Let's do that. Let's grab you guys a stack of smooth sandstone. Yeah. Now this is intentional. I wanted that there. Okay. It means I can do this. Yeah, that frames it quite well. All right. So let's replace this right here. Swap that out. Looks like Aether might be having some connectivity issues. All right, since these are slabs, I'm going to break the slabs off. Well, that wasn't supposed to be a slab. I'm going to break those off, and it looks like here's also one. And these are going to get carried up to the roof. Full block up. Swap this out for a slab. Slab it. There we go. Go across here to do the exact same thing. Alright, now we could go up more than one block higher. I don't want to draw the eye too much here in the back. That's always one of the balancing acts with a build like this, is if you draw the eye too much, it just becomes too busy. Then if you're down below, you may not necessarily see that these fences are here. So they might be far enough back, or you might, attribute the glint of the yellow that you see to this thing. So, for the front here, we are going to do something that, in my opinion, is a cardinal sin in Minecraft. But gonna have to do it. Okay? We're just going to go back and forth like so. I think that's okay. Where did I put those blocks? Full blocks as soon as we hit the stair. Okay. A little bit further to go. 2, 3. Okay. So, and then in this front, we're going to alternate between staircases, full blocks. Why do I say this is a cardinal sin? It looks weird. It does. But I'm going to do what I can to try and minimize it however I can. Should be directly over the entrance right here. We're going to do this. Swap this for slabs. Slab up each of these spots. And there we go. We have our roof line. We have it tied directly into our wall. Have a little bit of weirdness in these spaces, but that's easy to take care of. Come on. Oh, I just fell. Have a little bit of weirdness along there, but I think the easiest solution for these is actually just to embrace it. The rest of the wall is anchored in such a way as to make it feel like, it's hefty. Yeah, let's do that on the other side as well. Draw the block down like that. Okay. And then in the spaces and the gaps that we have up there, let's just embrace it. Let's do something like make a bunch of bamboo fence gates and trapdoors or something. Ooh, trapdoors. Could look great. Now, the interior, that's going to be a whole nother project in of itself. And as it is right now, it's already 8:45. So let's do that. Alright, so I don't need you guys anymore. Yeah, let's put this down. Let's do this. Let's make... I know it's a ton, but I think this is the one. This is the play that will make the most sense, and it'll look the coolest. And oops. There we go. Let's see how it looks on the other side. There was an opportunity to try and do that. Oh yeah. It looks like it's hanging there. The ceiling, which by the way, the ceiling looks amazing. It does. Alright, let's go along here. I don't know if I have enough fence gates. Might just have barely. I do have barely enough. Okay. Along here. Oops. Alright. Let's do... just in the corners here, a bit of a drop down to the first floor. Staircase is going to be an important thing to put in there. I have a feeling about that. All right. Now, this whole front here, I want to be trapdoors. So I'm going to need more trapdoors. Crafting tables over here. I think that's enough trapdoors? No. We shall find out. Now, trapdoors in this instance are going to be a little awkward to place. If I do that, they're going to be on the outside, and I don't want that. I don't want that. Yeah, I definitely do not want that. Let's see. I could put them on the inside. Look a little strange, but wouldn't be out of the... I mean, it wouldn't be completely outlandish. I just lose the use of this block for other things, but I can compensate with something on the outside. Yeah. Yeah, that works. That works well. And then that just means that along the inside here, okay, I'm going to need a lot more trapdoors because now I love this look. All right, so we're going to do that. Do that. Okay. Along this edge right here is what we're going to do. I may overuse it, and I'm not too worried. I overuse it, but I think I'll be okay. put it here. So I have them spare. Oh, oh, wow. Okay. I like it. It really works. It's not too busy. It makes sense. Ooh, a little bit of lag. Oh, that just pops so well. You can hardly tell that that is birch, but it just flows into the rest. And that's what I wanted. I wanted that carve out look right there. To have the little bit of lighter block in there. Oh, that looks so good. Alrighty. Well, with that said, everybody, it's been lovely actually. This is going to be the interior of this is going to be so much fun to decorate. It really is. But with that said, I unfortunately I do have to do a couple of things. Before I go to bed tonight, I do have work in the morning, so I do need to be a somewhat occasionally responsible adult. That said, I'm going to put everything away in here for a little bit. All right. Yeah, I'm happy with how that turned out. So, everyone, thank you for tuning in. It has been a lovely time, and I now have a starter base. A not too modest starter base, but it is a starter base. So, with that, everyone, thank you for tuning in. It has been such a lovely time. This has been Wolf, and everyone, have a good night.